Hi guys, my name is Ellie. Welcome to my channel, Pampered and Polished. In my channel, I will be doing tutorials, product reviews, and just discussing general nail care with you guys. Let me start out by telling you all a little bit about me. I started doing nail art back in April of 2012, and let's just say I've come a long way since then. Today, I'm going to be starting out with my first tutorial, and it's going to be for a simple watercolor nail art. So let's get right into it. For this tutorial, you guys are going to need a few things. First thing is going to be a base coat, whichever one you prefer. You will need a shiny top coat. You will need a white polish for the base color. And you will need some assorted colors. You'll see that you can pretty much play around with the colors here and you can mix and match, see what works for you. You're also going to need a paintbrush. One that is not extra thin is going to be better for this, and you'll see why. You're going to need a little dish to pour out the liquid that you will use. And the final thing you will need is either a paint thinner or an acetone. Either one will work for this. So we're going to start out with your favorite white polish. Today I am using China Glaze White on White. So you want to start out in the middle of the nail and work your way to the left and then to the right. Now remember, this is a white polish, so it's going to be a little streaky at first. Don't worry about it. It happens to everyone. Okay, and I'm just going to repeat the same steps on the second nail here. And once you're done with the first coat, we're going to go right ahead into the second coat of polish. The second coat of polish, it's going to be a little bit more important that you get this to be even, since this is going to be the final coat before we start out with our three colors. You don't have to use three colors, but that's just what I found works best for me. You can always try out 2 colors and have a little bit less coverage, or 4 colors and have more coverage. So here we're just finishing up that second coat of white polish. Before you begin with the colors, you're going to pour out a small amount of acetone or paint thinner. And I'm going to start out with one of my favorite blue colors. It's Age of Aquarius from Color Club. I just recently repurchased this one because I can't live without it. And we're going to place 3 dots on the nail. Make sure to even them out. You want to give yourself some space and leave space for the next few colors that you're going to be using. We're going to dip our paintbrush right into the acetone and start moving out the nail polish, spreading it out with that paintbrush. Be gentle here. You don't want to really dig your paintbrush in. An important thing to remember here is when you're dipping your paintbrush into the polish that you're not really digging it into the nail, because you don't want to go through the white polish and hit your natural nail. You want to just be very gentle with it. We're going to go on to our second color, which is another favorite of mine, China Glaze Flip Flop Fantasy, a definite popular one for the summer, and it goes great with Age of Aquarius. You're going to want to space these out in the opposite places that you put the first color. And we're going to just speed this up a little bit here. You're going to see that you're going to go through the same steps and just evenly space out the polish. And then we're going to go into our third color. The third color today that I'm going to be using is an OPI polish, and this is in your A Budapest. And I want to reiterate, it's really important that when you dip your brush into the acetone, you're not overflowing the brush with the acetone, because that will seep through and it's going to really mess up the design that you're going for. You want to be really gentle with it again and just spread out that purple, covering up some of the colors that we've already added, but not covering it up too much. So you want to make sure that actually the third color, you're not putting on too much polish. Okay, so this is how the final product is going to look. Once this is all dry, we will be adding a top coat. to this. For now, we're going to get started on the next nail. First color we're going to use is a Color Club, and this is in Disco Dress. It's a deep violet polish. We're going to be following pretty much the same steps as on the first nail, dotting the nail polish on, dipping our paintbrush, and then spreading the color around. And while we're watching that, I have to take the time out to say sorry, one, for the lighting and the editing. Hopefully we'll be getting better with this as we go along. But in the meantime, thanks for sticking around, guys. I hope the tutorial is helpful so far. This nail is going to be a little bit more vibrant, so it's going to be a better look for summer. The three colors that we're using all are kind of bright, especially the last color. It's going to really make it pop. The second color that we're going to use is also a China Glaze, and it's called Under the Boardwalk. It's a bright fuchsia pink color, and it's going to complement the purple really well. So again, we're just dabbing it on in the more white spaces of the nail. And we're going to carefully blend that. The purple was a really strong color here, so we're going to have to be covering up a good bit of it. And the good thing about this design is that you can never really mess up, you know. You can kind of just play around with it, and it's always going to look good. The final color is going to be a bright neon yellow China Glaze color, and this is Yellow Polka Dot Bikini. It's seriously the brightest polish I've ever seen in person. And with this one, we're going to go right over that purple and pink. And since this is a more translucent type of color, it's going to cover up, but at the same time, you're going to be able to see through it. So it's going to go really well with these two colors that we've already added. I'm just gently moving that around, making sure to cover as much of the white as possible. And this is pretty much the final look. We're just going to wait for it to dry and add a top coat. Okay, so I do have to mention, between colors you want to make sure to dip your paintbrush into the acetone and to fully wipe it off on a paper towel before you start with the next color. The final step is going to be to add your top coat. Today I'm using Out the Door, but usually I recommend using Seche Vite. It's definitely my holy grail. It's the shiniest and the most quick drying top coat I've ever used, so I definitely recommend trying that one if you don't have a preference already. Want to make sure to put on a nice thick layer and let it completely dry, and your look is going to be complete. Alright guys, well there you have it. I hope that tutorial was helpful. If you guys have any questions or comments or suggestions for the next tutorial or video, please leave a comment down below. You guys can find me on Instagram, instagram.com/evigistate. I will link it down below, and I will see you next time.